Hello, beautiful people of the world. Adrienne here, aka Ace. Hey, let's talk tools today. I want to share with you all the tools that I like to use and the stuff that I'm going to be using when I demonstrate my haircuts. So let's get into it. Okay, guys, so these are some of my favorites that I want to share with you. Let's start with, this is my Oster 76 clipper, and I have really actually had these about 20 years. I did get a new housing for it because it cracked, but this motor has lasted me 20 years, okay? And this is a great clipper. The reason why I like this, not only is it super powerful, but you can literally take this apart and order each individual piece that you could possibly need if something was to go wrong with it. There's an oil port right here. This comes off, and these little, they're called carbon brushes, go right inside to keep the motor running. So if they ever stop suddenly, it's like this is the first thing you check. And they're these tiny little spring-loaded carbon deals. And then this faceplate comes right off. I always have some little screwdrivers on hand. This faceplate comes right off, and you can get in there and grease it, grease the gears. This thing, if you maintenance these, they will last you a lifetime. I'm gonna put a link to a website that I use when I broke my housing. This is where I go to order parts, but all of this comes out and it all goes back together so easily for you to maintenance it. Now, hey, let me just point out, if you love what you're already using, well then, hey, if it's not broke, don't fix it. But I just love these because they're super powerful, and they come with they don't come with these blades. These blades are extra, but there's such a variety in size. Depending on how short of a haircut you're doing, like if it's a bald fade, sometimes I do like the wall clippers that have the little lever on the side, but I still really prefer these. These guards are my absolute favorite. I prefer these. They clip on, they do not come off. Have you ever had your guard fall off and you shave a bald spot in someone's head? Not cool. So I love these for that reason, because they don't come off. Then you have all your oils that you want to use. You always want to oil your blades really nice. Not too much oil. You only want like a drop per side every once in a while, and you can really tell the difference. And these are really interesting how they go on. I can even do this without the faceplate. You always want to have it engaged before you actually clip the blade down, meaning you want to have it on. This isn't plugged in right now. So I would just close this down while the motor is running. You never want to snap it down when it's not running. That's a big key point. Let's see what else. And then my Andes trimmers. I love these. They have a very close shave for defined necklines, hairlines, things like that. Back in the day, I used to do a lot of bald fades on people. Tons. I used to do like 30 a day, 5 days a week for years. So I got really, really good at them, and taking these clippers have done, you don't even know how many haircuts. I don't even know how many thousands of haircuts these clippers have done together. You always want to take care of them really well with the blade wash. This is kind of an oily cleaning solution for your blades, and you can use this on your trimmer blades. You can kind of put this in a little Tupperware bowl and let all the hair, it'll wash all the hair out of your blades. It's fantastic. Spraying your tools with the proper disinfectant when you're done, great idea, definitely good to have. I use wall oil on my Andes, and I use Oster oil for the blades on my Osters. For sure, definitely do that. It's worth it. This is just my old tool bag that I've literally had for 20 years. It's like so beat up, I love it. Then we're gonna talk about thinning shears. I've covered this a tiny bit. Oh, wait, I forgot. Look, clipper grease. This goes on the gears inside. Little dab here, dab here, dab here. You're good to go. One little drop of this lubricating oil inside this little port right here. That works wonders. Sometimes you can take this end off and kind of clean the hair out. These suckers are fantastic. Okay. I always have a little brush handy. Use whatever kind of brush you like to clean the hair off. Keeping them clean is like essential, very important. Thinning shears, let's talk about that. I don't like thinning shears. If you love them, hey, more power to you. They're not my thing. I have found over the years that the only people that are going to ask for these are people that have extremely thick hair. When you go in and thin someone's hair with these that has thick hair, what you do is create volume, because the shorter hairs support the longer hairs. And it might feel thinner, but it gets bushier. And if you do this every time or every other time on someone's hair, you create such a vicious cycle. I really, really prefer cutting with a razor, especially on thick, coarse hair. The trick to it is change the blades really often. I don't go maybe more than 2 haircuts without changing a blade. And these are so cheap. These blades are awesome. You can use whatever kind of razor you like. You can use a really fancy, expensive one. You can use an inexpensive one. This is an inexpensive one. I like it because it has a guard. You're never gonna cut your finger, while you're cutting, assuming you have this guard on. These blades come out really easy, so you can change them. They get dispensed right into this little deal right here, like that. And I'm just gonna go, yep, awesome, see ya, cool. Anyway, you get the idea. They go in there for safekeeping. There are a bunch of different guards that can help you vary the texture that it takes out, and I love using those for different haircuts. Sometimes if I have someone who's just dead set on thinning and they've got this really super thick hair and I don't want to use these, I'll grab another guard that will leave it really piecey, so that I'm just thinning the ends of the hair, not the interior. And I have had every single person that I've done that with has come back and said, okay, I loved that worked, let's keep doing that. So combs, I'm a big fan of these larger combs. I have this one on hand because it has numbers on it, so I can measure. If I have someone with hair longer than 6 inches, well, I just get out a little tape measure so I can be accurate. But I like having this to actually, when someone says I want an inch off or I want 2 inches off, I can go, okay, this is 2 inches. Is that how much you want off? And sometimes they'll go, oh no, that's not. I want less than that, or I want more. So you can physically show them, because I'll tell you right now, one of the biggest things that's going to make your clients upset and not want to come back to you is you guys miscommunicating about how much length to take off. And I will say, no matter how damaged someone's hair is, and if I really think that they need to get it cut off and they don't want to, I will honor their wishes every single time, because you're building trust with that person. They will come back to you and say, you're right, we do need to trim it. But they will come back to you and they will trust you and they will feel at ease in your chair, and you guys will end up having a great relationship, have fantastic conversations. You'll build a lifelong relationship that way. Don't ever cut someone's hair off if they don't want you to. It's not worth it. Tell them the risks, tell them the dangers. If they're gonna color it, tell them what could happen. Tell them all the details, just so you know, tell them in a really nice way and let them make the decision. They need to feel like they're a part of the decision too. Sometimes you'll get someone in your chair that says, I don't care, just do whatever you want, and that's great. But a lot of times people really have an idea of what they want and they don't know how to convey it. You've got to know how to ask the right questions to get it out of them. That's our job, not their job. Go over pictures in a magazine with them, show them different lengths, things like that. It's great. But I really love these big combs. I found that it really doesn't matter if it's a square one, if it's a round one. I love these because you can kind of use this as a ruler on long hair if you kind of want to gauge some front layers to match up with your bottom length, and you're just like, oh, I want to make sure I get this angle right because I don't want to cut into it too much. Use this as a pivoting ruler. It's great. Love this. Okay, gotta have a mirror on hand. This is always essential. I will tell you, when you're working on your clients, always face them towards the mirror. Not only do they like to watch you work and see what's going on with their hair at the same time, it builds trust. They like it. I've had a lot of people tell me that they left a stylist specifically because they weren't facing the mirror while their hair was getting done, and then they just had such an anxious feeling about how their hair was going to turn out. And almost always when you turn them around to the mirror, it's usually kind of a shock to them, and they don't like it because it's too drastic. They want to see the mirror. And another thing is, I always let them feel through their hair before I style it and after, and I always show them the back of their hair by handing them the mirror and letting them turn around so that their back is to the mirror, and using this mirror so that they can see the back of their hair in the big mirror. Not the other way around where you hold it in the back of their head and they're facing the mirror and they can only see like a tiny bit. No, feel confident in your technique enough that you want to show them that you have nothing to hide, and you really want them to be honest and be able to get a chance to feel it and look at it before they leave, because more than likely if they go home and they don't like it, they might not even call you back. But if they get a chance to say, oh, I need a little bit more off right here, or even if you've just messed up and you took too much off, that gives you a chance right then and there to say, I am very sorry, apologize, make it right, be humble, offer them a free product, anything you can do to make that person happy and keep them, to let them know you care about them. They're not just another head to you in the door to make money. It's a human being, and you care about human beings. So, in reference to my blades here, this is just a little guide that shows the variety of blades that you can get for these. These actually say Andes, but these Osters also come in all these same little sizes, and I just love these. I love them so much. Look at this T-blade right here for edges. You can use this for edges. It actually says flat top blade on it. I used to do a lot of flat tops back in the day, but not so much anymore. Hey, maybe it'll make a comeback. Okay, the other thing that I really love, this is the Ultra Mist H2O bottle from Cricket, and it is such a nice mist when it comes out. Really love a bottle that sprays in a very misting way. That way you're not soaking the client. It's embarrassing for you and it's uncomfortable for the client for you to be spraying them and there's water dripping down their face, down their neck. It's embarrassing. You want to feel like a professional, not an amateur. You want to feel confident. You want to keep it rolling smoothly. The contact that you're making with your client is not cumbersome, but it's very smooth. So, hey, you know what? These are my tools. This is what I like. You love what you use, stick with it. But if you have any questions, please put that in the comment box. I would love to talk to you guys. And if there's any tools that you just absolutely love, well, hey, share that with us. We'd like to hear it. Great. Thank you guys for tuning in. I love doing this with you. This is an amazing journey. Let's keep going.